Good morning, it's 5:48. Let's talk about manipulation. When you see the average trade, well, I know this is a fake trade. This has been going on and off with this bottom here. Every time he puts up a large trade, that goes right immediately, comes off, and then the trade equal size pairs on the bottom. So the average order in this book on both sides, it's 1 Bitcoin. Then we see these huge orders that are 2,300% over the average order. That's manipulation. The volume here is roughly about $18,169, give or take one coin. I go over to this market. Let's go to the 20th. Today we had a nice big gain. Okay, we're going to the 20th. You see this big gain here. All right. You go over here, it's reflected right here. Now, if you go across where we left off on the 20th, you will see we still have kept that gain over here on a 24-hour volume, almost 77 million US dollars. Even though it's in a Tether token, but that's just nonsense. Now you go over here, we lost all that gain in one shot, you see? This was, it goes to show you it was manipulated down. That's why the discrepancy in the order book, you know, the graph right here, the volume and the candlesticks have a discrepancy in the price. Because over here it's manipulated. You can see they forced it down, and market naturally bounced back up because it was being forced to do something it shouldn't have been doing, and it went right back up. But all the gains were wiped out. And if you look over here, all the gains from the 20th have been wiped out. All the gains over here from the 20th are still intact. They haven't lost anything. As a matter of fact, they have gained. To manipulate this market, why is this market manipulated compared to Binance, and what are the signs? The signs of manipulation is large sell and buy walls that are unusually high above the market average, which is exceeding 500% of the average trade, which in this case, when you average it out, it's 1 Bitcoin. Now, everybody's going to say, why don't you include this 10? Because this 10 has never been bought or sold. It's just placed there. It just moves. It's never been bought or sold. You can go back to my other videos, and it's a further explanation than that. You look over here, there's nothing here either. So now they want the price to go back up so people come and buy back in, and then they could dump on you and scalp you again and take 10% of your money, 5% of your money. They'll keep doing it over and over. Eventually, you'll have no money left. Now, this is 2,200% above the average market order. This is 400%. They want the price to go back up. They're manipulating it back up. You come over here, you don't see any of these huge trades placed at the lowest price or the highest price. You don't see them. Just no manipulate. Actually, this price is going up. It did go down this morning because people sold off overnight, and now they're going to come back into the market. And look, its price is just going up. Over here, they're attempting to go up. But if put it this way, $750,000 in this type of market equals 117 Bitcoin. That's $750,000. They've done this the other day to keep the price from going up and lowering it. They put a sell wall here between 80 and 117 Bitcoin. 117 Bitcoin is equivalent to $750,000. You take $750,000 and you put it in the market that's currently at 77 million in their 24-hour volume, it's going to just disappear. It ain't going to do nothing. Even $1 million won't really do nothing to this market. The volume's so high. Over here, you put $1 million or 750,000. This market ain't going up at all. They did this the other day. I recorded it. The manipulator owns the price in this market because the volume is so low. It's only $17 million. And here you are putting $750,000 up in one trade. It's going to have a drastic effect on the low volume market. And they know this. That's why they're manipulating this market. This is the most manipulated market I have ever seen out of all the exchanges. Because the volume is low. They tout themselves the largest exchange. They have no volume. 17 million compared to this exchange, 77 million. They have nothing. So the fiat manipulators are over here crying foul about Tether. So you go back into fiat to do your trading. And they can rob you. You buy over here thinking it's going to go 8, 10,000. You put a stop loss of where you maybe 10% below what you bought it for over here, right? To protect yourself. It starts going up. You think you made the right decision. You're watching it during the day, during the early morning hours of the next following day. Boom. You go in. You open up your account. Your coin has been sold off because you had a stop loss. And you took a shave from where you bought it at. God knows where you bought. You could have bought it over here. You might have bought it somewhere in this range, thinking the market was going to go up. You might have got lucky and bought it down here. You might have bought it up here. You might have bought it up here. And then they drop it down. You lost your coin from the stop loss. And plus, you're short some cash. And then they let the market go up again. And they do it all over again. What they're doing is a constant stop loss hunting. Since he's able to control the market very easily for less than $1 million, he's never going to stop. And Coinbase will not stop them, because if they do, you see, Coinbase is not stopping them because they're getting enriched by all the fees that he's generating. You got to think it this way: when he stop loss hunts on somebody, that person's account puts all his stuff up to sale. That person is charged a fee. So if you got thousands of people who just stop lossed out, Coinbase gets enriched from all those stop loss fees for the fee for the sale. See, look, there goes your fee. It gets sold, you get charged a fee. The manipulator goes in, stop losses everybody. Everybody loses money, and they have to pay a fee to lose money. They have to pay Coinbase for Coinbase letting the manipulator run wild. Tell me if that's not only a slap in the face, that's a slap in the face with an armored gauntlet. So the manipulator is actually helping them make money. They're getting enriched by this, so they won't let him go. Plus, he's such a large part of the volume. The fees that they make off of him, running amok, to kick him off, they would lose a lot of money. They would lose a lot of money if they kicked the manipulator off in fees. They'll never let him go. He's the only thing generating an income for Coinbase Pro. This is ridiculous, man. Ridiculous. And every day you guys are taking a shave and a haircut. Right? This manipulator's making money off your coin. And Coinbase Pro is getting a fee on you taking a loss. That's why they won't let him go. You're in a low volume market. And where this manipulator is putting up 750,000. If he parks 750,000, that's 117 Bitcoin here like he did the other day. This price isn't going up. And then he just dumps a little. Another shave and a haircut. Oh, Tether's manipulated. Don't go trade Tether. $77 million market. You put 750,000 in any form away in this market, or $1 million, and see if you can manipulate this market. It's a drop of spit in the ocean, $1 million. This exchange is too manipulated, and if it wasn't manipulated, Coinbase Pro wouldn't make any money, period. The volume's so low. Hallie made $66 billion since December. Well, you put it this way. If the manipulate is such a large piece of the trading volume, and Coinbase Pro is 20% of the trading volume in here. So 20% of the $17 million is coming from Coinbase Pro. So it's even worse. So you got, let's see, 3.4 million of the 17 million is Coinbase Pro in volume. You take that out, $14 million volume. That's all they have. And the manipulate is the rest. Anybody who could sit here and tell me this exchange is legit, if I rattle your head, I'm going to hear like a pebble in there. And look at this trade. Now let's talk. Look, the average trade in here is, if you do the math, is probably about 1 Bitcoin. This is 2,500 above the average trade. Same for this side. And then you're gonna tell me it's not manipulated. Okay, let's go to buy the larger exchange where the price is still climbing. Where do you see, even though this exchange has mad way amounts of volume, where do you see buys and sells trades of 27 coin parked here? Where do you see it? This look at the volume over here too. It's not like they lack the volume or the cash in here. It's $77 million in 24 hours. $77 million. Over here, if you exclude the volume of Coinbase, which they admitted, it's 14 million. And then this guy parks a huge trade for 29, 37 Bitcoin, 39 Bitcoin, I'm sorry. And then you're going to tell me it's not manipulated. A coin that has $14 million in legit volume versus something that has 77 million. You don't even see anything like 29 coins being placed at the top price to manipulate it up. And then you're going to tell me your exchange is not manipulated. It's a crying shame. It really is. Going on this exchange is an effort of a fool. I made a mistake of trusting them. And I'll tell you why I made the mistake of trusting them. Because I bought Bitcoin off of them. I never had a problem. On the proper Coinbase Pro, you buy with a credit card. So I figured I trust the exchange. But before I went and signed up for this exchange, I have a bad habit. I actually read the user terms of agreement. Market manipulation is prohibited. Market manipulation of any kind is strictly prohibited. Any kind. Doesn't know if it's new, old, newly conceived points of manipulation. Old ones, new ones, whatever, anything you could find is supposed to be prohibited. Now, I reported it to Coinbase Pro, and the investigations were never completed. The evidence was never reviewed. It was rejected. Without telling me or letting me submit anything to prove my point, they closed the case. I have that recorded. They openly admit they closed the case without receiving any of my data that would prove otherwise. And then you see a realistic volume of 14 million coin. And now let's do the numbers on that. I say 14. Oh, that's $14 million. I'm sorry. You see, 29 coin times. So somebody puts up about around $200,000. It controls the whole market. It makes the price go anyway. A lousy $200,000 is moving this market. Throw $200,000 into a market that has such high volume, it's impossible for you to manipulate it with that little cash. People are just buying. Over here, no, 900% over the market average. So we'll just sitting there. We won't move. Again, another low volume, totally manipulated by two Kettling trades. 23.73.11, 23.70.11 is over here. Maybe it's got a little small petty trade in there. This one's been up since September 9th. This has got to be one of the heaviest manipulated exchanges I've ever seen in my life. They will not kick this manipulator off because, to tell you the truth, they're getting enriched by it because there's nobody trading on here. Obviously, there's only $14 million on it, trades, and he's roughly about $1 million. There he goes. You see, this is about. Yeah, it's him because it's his trademark 80 coin. That's $320,000 in coin he just used to manipulate this market down. Look, it's going down because he's manipulating. No sell walls here. The price is going up. See? Sell walls and manipulation over here. The price is barely moving from 6,400. This exchange is equivalent to what BitConnect was to cryptocurrency. This is the BitConnect of crypto exchanges right here. All the gains from the 20th wiped out, cleaned everybody out. Stop loss hunting constantly because that's the only place you can make money now as this exchange volume declines. You close down the Coinbase index fund, this exchange is going to be closed down. But it's going to be closed down because it's so heavily manipulated that there's just nobody coming in here to trade anymore. It's just the manipulator now by himself. And well, Coinbase does 20% of the volume on their own exchange. This exchange is in trouble. They talk about every other exchange, Tether this, Tether that. Tether's having no problem. They got 78 million in 24-hour volume in USD. You got $14 million when you take out that 20% that you trade on your own platform. These guys are shady. This exchange needs to be thoroughly investigated. I'm going to call them up today, and we're going to ask some questions. I want some answers. I'm going to say your exchange, if you exclude the $20 million, the 20% volume that you guys generate on your own exchange, equals $14 million is now the volume on this exchange. This guy's throwing up 750,000, 200,000, as little as 300,000. He's manipulating the market all over the place. You guys won't do anything because, you know what? He's your only volume besides yourself. If they didn't have the 20% volume from Coinbase proper, they'll never close this exchange because they can use it to go below the spot price from Coinbase Pro proper. In other words, you buy coin from Coinbase Pro, say for $6,400, and they have X amount of days to get you that coin, and they buy in batches on their own exchange. If you came in an order and you bought here, they'll dump the price and buy it here, but they won't pass on the difference to you. They'll keep it. They'll pocket it. You didn't get the lowest price possible. They kept that difference for themselves. This exchange is way rigged. I don't know why people say anybody who has. You can take this market. You got people that are in jail like Michael Milken. You take this exchange over to him, this activity. Give him the same comparisons I'm looking at and see what Mr. Milken says. He'll tell you exactly what's happening. He knows what's happening because he did this himself. Litecoin's manipulated all to hell using these two Kettling trades. You see exactly the same market size, like I said, 23.73 spot 11, 23 spot 73.11. They never bought or sold. They just moved up and down the price range to manipulate the price. This guy over here is putting up sell walls, 750,000, 300,000, where the average market order is 1 Bitcoin on each side, and the volume, if you take out the 20% of Coinbase trading on their own platform, is only 14 million. And then they talk crap about the Tether market, which is 78 million. Why is this Tether market 78 million? Because Tether pumped up the price? No, because it's not manipulated. What do you see? What, 10 coin? 10 coin on a 78 million and a half dollar 24-hour volume market? It's nothing. But over here, 21, double that. Come on, people. This is manipulated beyond reason. They're going to get a call today. Yeah, I like to report market manipulation. Look, you only got a $14 million volume when you take out your 20% that Coinbase trades on their own platform, which is wrong to begin with. People are throwing, you throw a $300,000 trade on a $14 million market. Yes, that's manipulation, especially when the average order is $6,400. He throws 750,000 on it, 117 Bitcoin. Yes, it is manipulation. He prices at the highest, the lowest price. Yes, it is manipulation. This exchange is out of control. And I'm just letting you know that you can clear this up, make it all go away by making me whole. That's all I'm telling you. You can make this all go away. If nobody else wants to do nothing about it, I will. Okay? And if they settle with me, then I have no grief or grievance with them. And then I could just go away and trade on Binance. That's it. That's all I'm asking. If you cannot figure out that this market is manipulated, you shouldn't be trading. Now, this market manipulation did not start occurring until after that dump, when Charlie Lee sold off all his Litecoin, because he had inside information that they were going to do this. Okay? And the reason why they did this is to get the institutions in that Bitcoin index fund. They dumped the market to make the price attractive for them to enter the market at the lowest price possible. Now that the index fund has been closed because everybody told them, fuck you, your market's too manipulated, we're not coming in, no way. Now they're stuck. They shot themselves in the foot. Now how do you get this market back? They either got to do a massive pump on this market, to get people to come back in, or they got to constantly get shaving the people that keep coming into this market by manipulating and stop loss hunting. In other words, they liquidate you when you go long, and they have to liquidate you when you go short. You go in short, they just liquidated you. You go in long, they just liquidated you. So they have to constantly keep doing that to generate fees. And the manipulation is helping them do that. I don't know if they're doing the manipulation themselves or not. That I cannot prove. But it's highly suspect that it is. Especially since they put up a lot of money to get that index fund open. And they just closed it. So today I'll talk to them again. Because I have a good sense for business. It's just debits and credits. And right now, this platform, I think if it's easier to buy coin now, like a Gemini competitor, which they're manipulated too, but now they added the Gemini dollar. So after they they initiate that Gemini dollar, Gemini is going to start to look like this and not this. Gemini, remember, these people met in the meeting because the SEC rejected the ETF based on the grounds that the market is too manipulated. Anybody in the SEC is seeing this. This is their proof. We go in, let's see the market. Oh, the market's too manipulated. We can't give them the ETF. It's too risky. The market's too manipulated. They're looking at Coinbase. They're looking at Gemini. They both suffer from the same thing. But I moved my stuff over to Gemini because now they have the Gemini dollar. Why? Because, well, everybody says don't trust Tether. So the Gemini is audited. It's in New York. It's everything. I'm in New York. It suits me fine. Plus, stable coins have large market volume that fiat manipulators can't just afford to manipulate. And we're all running over here because I see a stable, non-manipulated market. That's a gift right here to us. Not like this. You put money in here, put it in here, and it's gone. The next day, it's gone. Like clockwork. Oops. Oops. And when you see orders that are 1,400% over the average market order, or like yesterday's case, no, two previous day, 11,700% over the average market order parked right here, huge sell wall, that's manipulation. You don't see that. 117 coin, I have never seen this on Binance. Never, ever. It's all a fraud. I never seen these on there either. Look. So they can keep track of their kettle. It's the geniuses at Coinbase Pro. In other words, yeah, we know there's manipulation, but if there wasn't any manipulation, we wouldn't have any transactions. That's the point that Coinbase Pro is at. If they didn't have any manipulation, they wouldn't have any transactions. Their volume, if you take away the 20% of the volume that they generate on their own platform, is $14 million. That's why the manipulators are over here. It's a low volume market, and they're having a field day. Less than $1 million on here, you are the king. You decide everything. You run the exchange. And Coinbase knows it. They won't touch me. They kick me out of this exchange with my $1 million account. They'd have nothing, no fees. No fees generated from when I trigger people's stop losses. I take their money, and Coinbase gets a fee from them. So talk about getting it in both ends. And they keep doing it over and over. Look at this. Almost a $200 spread because this market is manipulated. He's sitting on it. Look at this, $600. $6,600 practically. Coinbase still sitting at $6,400. The volume is so low, it's taken only 4 Bitcoin to stop this market. You gotta be insane to trade on this platform. Look at this, $51.99. Let's see how much Litecoin is over here. $53.50. $52. Everybody's lost. See, Charlie, this is what happens when you dumped off your coin in January. It's just not stopping. We all got screwed by these guys. Really bad. How the market makers of Litecoin can actually be in business and employ the actual holder of the coin is beyond me. Talk about your conflict of interest. The guy is practically dictating his own price to his own coin on an exchange. He sits in the same office as the guy that owns the exchange. Conflict of interest. Yeah. Too bad that plan where you dumped at the high price, it was just a coincidence. That's another guy. I would investigate Brian Armstrong and Charlie Lee. These guys are sitting pretty on money that they built out of this Litecoin churning scam that they ran by everybody. All right, let me post this up. Again, if you think $1 million is not going to move $14 million market cap, 24-hour volume on this exchange only, $1 million moves this all over the place, and that's what he's been doing. Look at the activity and compare it to something that has a higher volume. Oh, wait a minute. I can't type for nothing today. Oh, dude. The market's still going up. This is destroyed. Nobody's going to trade it anymore. The volume's just so low. It's dead. If the manipulator wasn't here, there wouldn't be any volume. You gotta thank the manipulator. They allow him to kill the market. This is going to be a defunct exchange. It's just going to dry up. They might as well close the exchange. The volume is so low. If they didn't have Coinbase Pro, they wouldn't have 20% of their volume. If they didn't have Coinbase Proper, that is. I'm sorry. Look at this, 75. I don't even know how they even can include this. I'm going to ask CoinMarketCap to kick them off the platform. Why? They're too manipulated. Don't put them in the average anymore. They're just like BTC. I'm going to be contacting them. Let me see if they got a contact here. All of them are manipulated like this. All of them. Anything that has to do with USD is manipulated. No wonder why everybody's moving to stable coins. Even the average price 64.73, 64.75. These guys are still behind the average market price and Fiat. That's $300,000 he's putting up the block. More than 300,000. He's close to $750,000. We're gonna fix this problem, people. We're gonna fix this.